All the way back in 2014, Magnus Carlsen managed to defeat Bill Gates in just 12 seconds and 9 moves of play. He played the American billionaire on a talk show in a studio in London, England. You may have heard of this game or even seen a live recording, but you might not have known the actual moves that allowed us to play out. So without further ado, let's break it down. So in the game, Bill Gates decided to open with e4. It's a great start. Magnus decided to respond knight c6, a little bit of an offbeat opening in the Nimzovich defense. Then we see knight to f3, maybe preparing to play the move d4 in the future. I mean, Bill Gates could have gone d4 earlier, but if you're not a great player, it's a little bit of a harder move to see because you might not know that the queen defends that square. So we see d5 by Magnus, almost entering the sort of offbeat Scandinavian sort of system, and then we just see Bill Gates goes bishop d3. Because Magnus sees this, he thinks, okay, gonna go knight f6, try and attack that pawn, maybe I can get a fork here. So Bill Gates sees this, captures the pawn. Magnus thinks, let me just move my knight out of the way. And the reason I'm speaking this and explaining this so quickly, because although it being a quick game, it was actually a blitz game with time odds. So Magnus Carlsen only had 30 seconds on the clock to play the whole game, with Bill Gates having 2 minutes. Not a lot of time. And the funny thing is, when the game began, Bill Gates didn't even start his own clock. He just began playing. So Magnus started his clock and then played his first move. So the next we see Magnus Carlsen plays queen takes d5, bringing a new piece into the game. Because of this, Bill Gates just thinks, okay, I'm going to attack that queen. Good move. Gets the knight out, attacks the queen, does 2 things at once, which you love to see. And as Magnus, as queen is attacked, he just moves out of the way, but to the edge of the board. Now it's attacking. It's actually doing stuff. Bill Gates decides to castle, which is obviously a good move because it gets the king out the center, but a little bit interesting because now it's under the line of fire of this queen, which we're going to see was a very big factor in the game. And then Magnus just goes bishop g4, big pressure on this knight, it's pinned to the queen, and he's threatening to capture and capture again like this. So say Gates just had a random move, I guess because he's blocked his own square there, it's not very good. So maybe he goes g6 trying to get his bishop out here. But then Magnus can just take, and if you want to recapture with the queen, he can take again, and then now these pawns are just quite damaged. These are going to be an absolute liability for white in the future. After bishop g4, Bill decides to just go h3. He thinks, well, this is quite a lot of pressure, I don't really like it. Maybe I can exchange and try and play an endgame against the world champion. Well, the then world champion, obviously now. Congratulations for Ding for winning the world championship. That just happened recently. If you're watching this far in the future, maybe Ding isn't world champion. Let me know. So h3 played by Bill Gates, and then Magnus Carlsen here decided to play his cheap trick. You know, Carlsen famously doesn't play for tricks. He's a very good endgame player. He's very good positionally and evaluating positions. Not known for his tricks, really. But he decides to play knight to d5, hanging the bishop in one move. So Bill Gates naturally decides to take the bishop, and after Magnus recaptures the pawn with his knight, getting another piece sort of into the attack here, maybe you can see where this is going. So Bill Gates thinks, okay, I'm up a piece. Let me exchange down and win this game pretty easily. So he thinks, okay, right, going to take on e5. Magnus is probably going to take back, but no. He's hung mate in 1, and the world champion sees it, plays queen to h2 checkmate, and Magnus Carlsen won in 9 moves and 12 seconds of play. So I guess the takeaway from that is, he might be a billionaire, but you can't buy chess skill. So if you enjoyed that one, here's another video YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.